Hello, you fellow musicians and gamers out there. This is Clarinetgamer here, and I am here with an unexpected video for this week, but it's related to an event coming up this weekend called PlayStation Experience 2016. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is to give my predictions for what will happen at the event itself. So without further ado, I'm going to give you my predictions starting from the top. Now, the first thing I think that might happen in this conference, or the first thing that might kick it off, is Crash Bandicoot Remastered gameplay trailer with comparison graphics and the release date. Now, as you may remember at E3 2016, Crash Bandicoot Remastered was announced. Like Crash Bandicoots 1, 2 and 3 were announced to be fully remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4, but no gameplay footage was shown. Instead, we were showing the Skylanders Imaginators footage of Crash Bandicoot instead. So it was obvious that they didn't have any footage ready, but now, fast forward 6 months later, they're bound to have something ready by now, surely. Like, Vicarious Visions are bound to have something ready to show off for Crash Bandicoot Remastered. I think we're going to see some gameplay of Crash Bandicoot Remastered PlayStation Experience. However, on the other hand, the Crash Bandicoot Remastered gameplay might not be shown off because recently there was a voice actor strike, which I mentioned in one of my videos beforehand, and Crash Bandicoot Remastered was one of those games affected by the voice actor strike, so that could possibly delay the game, but hopefully not. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, and hopefully it won't have affected it, and we'll have some gameplay ready for a PlayStation Experience to be shown off to all of us. And if it happens, and if a release date is to be shown off, I predict that the game will be released early 2017. I personally believe it will be the end of January or the beginning of February. That's when I think the remasters will come out, if there's a release date for them. Because there were rumours going about that the game could be released at the end of February, but I personally believe that the game should come out at the end of January or the beginning of February, because it's not wise to release it on the same day as Horizon Zero Dawn, which is one of the most anticipated titles on PlayStation 4 coming up. But anyway, that's my first prediction. Crash Bandicoot Remastered gameplay trailer with comparison graphics, like, so what it looks like on PS1, here's what it looks like now on PS4, and people will be like, oh my god, and everybody will be stunned, and trust me, I'll be like that as well if they show it off. But anyway, next prediction on the list is The Last Guardian. Now, as most of you may know, The Last Guardian is coming out on the 6th of December, so it's not long now until this comes out. It's a game that's been delayed many, many times, but it's getting released on PlayStation 4 on the 6th of December, and I personally think that Sony will show off a final trailer before the release, like, you know, it's kind of like a final hurrah before the game comes out on the 6th of December. But I'm looking forward to this game. I'm very excited about it because it looks very good. I mean, I've never played Shadow of the Colossus or Eco before, but I personally think that this game will be very good when I play it. I'm really looking forward to it, based on the trailers that I've seen anyway so far from it. Next prediction on the list is Resident Evil 7. Now, I personally think that Resident Evil 7, that comes out on the 25th of January, which is Burns Day over here in Scotland, in our country, but anyway, I digress. So Resident Evil 7, a final trailer will be shown off before its release date. Now, we've had a couple of gameplay trailers already for Resident Evil 7, but I personally think we might get a final trailer for Resident Evil 7 before it comes out on the 25th of January, before its release date. Also, I expect Sony to talk more about PlayStation VR at this event, because it came out in October and it's received quite a lot of worldwide praise already, which is great to hear. But personally, for me, I'm not getting PlayStation VR until maybe about a year later, until it's cheaper in price. Just, I can't believe the games are going to be in virtual reality now, but I digress once again. So, they'll probably show off more VR games, maybe new ones, maybe independent titles might be in virtual reality. I'm not entirely sure what games they'll show off, but we'll probably get a demonstration of some upcoming titles. For example, like maybe Dreams might be a good one to show off. Dreams, in case any of you don't know, is a game that's being developed by Media Molecule, who developed the Little Big Planet series, with the exception of the second game, Little Big Planet 1 and 2, so I think we need to see more of that, and if that can be shown off in virtual reality, that would be fantastic. So anyway, next prediction I have on the list is Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I think this game I'm looking forward to a lot, because it's one of the most anticipated games, as I mentioned earlier in the video, and I think it's going to have a final trailer, because this is the last major conference for Sony to have before 2017 arrives, before E3. Which will be in June 2017. So I think we'll get a final trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn before it comes out on the 28th of February. And I'm looking forward to that game coming out, so it should be good. So the next prediction I have on the list is Sucker Punch. Now, I did look up in my research and I did notice that Sucker Punch is not going to be at the event, according to websites that I've read anyway. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to show off anything, because for all we know, they could be keeping it a surprise. Sucker Punch could very well be attending this event, but Sony are purposely not listing them on the list of developers to appear there to keep it a surprise. But a lot of people are predicting this, and I'm predicting this as well. The Sucker Punch will come out on stage and announce their new game, because we haven't heard from them for a long time now. The last time that we heard from them was when they did Infamous Second Son, and their DLC, which was Infamous First Light. So that should be good on what they're going to announce. Personally, I don't know what they're going to announce. I think it could be a new IP. That's what I think it is. I think they're done with Infamous. But if they do announce an Infamous 3, then I'd like to see it with Cole again, or even a sequel with Delson, the main character from Infamous Second Son. I don't think we're going to see a Sly Cooper 5. There's no way we're going to see that, because they were done with that a long time ago, Sucker Punch. So I think, my personal opinion, I think we're going to see a new IP from them. So moving on now, we've got Naughty Dog. Now, Naughty Dog are going to appear at PlayStation Experience this weekend, and the only thing I'm expecting from them is the Uncharted 4 single-player DLC. Everybody is predicting this, and I'm predicting this is going to happen as well. I think it's pretty much going to happen, because we've had a lot of Uncharted 4 DLC announcements in the past, but this is a new one that I think they're going to announce this weekend. And the single-player DLC, I think, will consist of playing as Nathan Drake's brother, Sam, along with Sully, as they go on their treasure hunt of their own. That's what I think the single player DLC will be for Uncharted 4, which will be very good, because I really enjoyed Uncharted 4. I mean, it was one of the best games I've played on PS4 so far. Now, there's a lot of people predicting that The Last of Us 2 will be announced at PlayStation Experience. I personally don't think it's going to be announced, because in my opinion, will it happen? Possibly. It'll possibly happen, but PlayStation Experience is not the event to announce it at, because The Last of Us 2 is too big a game to announce at PlayStation Experience, with all due respect. I personally feel that The Last of Us 2, if there's going to be a Last of Us 2, it should be announced at E3 next year. That's when I think that The Last of Us 2 should be announced, but for now, no, it shouldn't be announced at PlayStation Experience. If there's going to be one, that is. Now, next prediction I have on my list is a bit of a funny prediction, this one. I don't think it will happen, but I might as well get this out of the way. Now, if you do remember from the past two PlayStation experiences, because this is the third one that they're doing on every December. This is the third one they're doing in California. And Sean Layden, the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment America, he came out wearing two different t-shirts at each event. So like in 2014, he wore a God of War t-shirt. Last year, he wore a Crash Bandicoot t-shirt. And I was thinking to myself, could he possibly do it for a third time? And that could very well be possible. And if it is the case, I hope it might be Spyro. He walks out with a Spyro t-shirt, and people are like, oh my god, right, Spyro's coming back to PS4 exclusively. But I'm not getting my hopes up too high for that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's kind of a funny little prediction. If that actually does happen, I'll be very surprised. But if that actually happens, I'll laugh out loud if that actually happens. I'm like, how on earth did I get that? But yeah, that's what I think might happen at PlayStation Experience. It's kind of a fun little prediction. Maybe it might not happen, but I think it might happen. So next, this is a more likely prediction, this one. Detroit Become Human, which was announced back at Paris Games Week in 2015. I think that'll get a release date announced along with another trailer. That's what I think will be announced for that one. A release date plus a final trailer as well, because the game looks really good. Like, you've got multiple choices to make, and it just looks like a really good game. That can't wait for it to come out. Now, the final two predictions I have on my list are very ambitious predictions, but I'm going to get them out of the way anyway, because the second last prediction I have on my list is Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay. Now, as you may remember, guys, Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced in a YouTube video on the PlayStation channel, and honestly, the game looks really good. Now, I've never played the first Red Dead Redemption, so I can't say for sure what my opinion is on the series, but the game itself looks very good. The second Red Dead Redemption looks really good from my point of view. And it's possible that we may see a more gameplay PlayStation experience, but I'm not going to count on it. And the final prediction I have on my list, now I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, and I'm thinking the same thing as well, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Final prediction I have on my list, a possible PlayStation All-Stars 2 announcement relating to a latest PS4 advert called The King. Now, in case any of you guys don't know what this advert is, I'll link it down in the description below for you to check out. But if you remember PlayStation All-Stars, the first one, there was an advert called Michael for PS3 leading up to it. And quite a lot of the characters in that advert, this was a live action advert, a lot of the characters in that advert were in the first PlayStation All-Stars. Not all of them, but most of them were. Like for example, Kratos and Nathan Drake, Sackboy, Paul Phoenix was one of the Tekken characters represented, but Heihachi Mishima was ultimately the Tekken character added, so there was quite a lot of characters in that advert that were added into PlayStation All-Stars 1. However, why I personally think a PlayStation All-Stars 2 will happen is because this King advert, the King advert, if you've watched it already, this is basically just Sony saying, here's what we got coming up for PS4 in the future, because they showed off games like Spider-Man, Infinite Warfare, the new God of War game coming up, but they also packed in a jam pack of references. I mean, that doesn't really sound right. A ton of old references to old games. And there was even a Crash Bandicoot reference in that advert as well. There was an Aku Aku mask in that advert as well. If you look close, I think it was the 6-second mark of the advert, an Aku Aku mask was up there. So it was a good Crash Bandicoot reference. But this could relate to a PlayStation All-Stars 2 announcement, but I know that I'm going to be wrong about this, but you can't have a predictions list without an ambitious one. So I figured I'd get that one out of the way. Because, I mean, if a PlayStation All-Stars 2 was to happen, I would be very happy. I mean, do I want to see one? Yes, definitely. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But it's still fun to predict it anyway. So we'll see what happens, guys. So that's my predictions for PlayStation Experience 2016. So if any of you guys that are watching this, if you've got any predictions for PlayStation Experience 2016, please leave your comments down below. I'd be very interested to read your predictions for what might happen during the event coming up this Saturday, because the press conference is this Saturday night at 6 PM UK time. If you're living in UK, that's what time the press conference starts, at 6 PM. So hopefully it's going to be a good one, guys. And that's pretty much it for my predictions. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below for your thoughts. And also please feel free to hit that subscribe button as well for more upcoming videos on my channel in the future. Till then, everybody, this is Clarinetgamer here signing off. Hope you all have a great day wherever you are, and I shall speak to you later. Till then, goodbye.